Well, today I thought I'd have a little go on the Metro because I hope to do a track day at Brands Hatch with it fairly soon, and I guessed that the Hydrolastic suspension would be fairly collapsed because the car wasn't sitting anything like level. So I bought this pump on eBay and it was about 80 quid, and when it arrived I thought, you are joking. How's that going to do anything then? But it does do it, but it just takes a little while. I mean, I used to race MGFs 25 years ago, and one of the critical things we used to have to do with that was set the ride heights in the morning and again later on in the day, depending on what the temperature was. So as it got hot in the day, the car would go up, so you'd then have to reset it. But along with resetting that, we'd often have to reset the tracking. So you'd try and keep the car at a set height, and then you wouldn't have to fiddle around with the tracking on it. So in the morning when it was really cold, you'd end up pumping it up to get it to your level. And in the afternoon when it all warmed up, it would be too high, so then you'd have to let it down a bit. But then we had a proper pump, not a £78 eBay pump. But you just got to keep going like this. It's quite soothing. And what I'm doing, I've set that side at a measurement. I can't rely on the gauge on here, that's for sure. So I'll set that side at a measurement, and then I'm measuring basically from the drum to the lip of the wheel arch, and that's going to be my sort of datum point, as it were, and go from there. Then sit the car on the floor and then have a measure up again. But yeah, I'll keep pumping and we'll see what happens. Well, the back's on the floor now, and we've gone up from 210 to 270 mil on this side. So I actually feel there was virtually nothing in this side, but that's okay. This side has gone up from 220 to 220 to 270. It's a little bit high at the back, but I believe it's too low at the front as well. So when we pump the front up, let's see what we get. So we're at 240. Now that's measured from the center of the hub to the lip of the arch. Now we just have to assume that the wing is the same place on both sides. Well, why wouldn't it be after 41 years, 43 years even? So we're going to give the front a pump up, connect onto the valves. There it is, tucked away down. There's the valve down the bottom there. Get it in focus. Connect onto that and spend a good 15-20 minutes pumping that. But this time, because all four wheels are on the floor, I can see where it's actually going to end up at. So I think what's going to happen is I'm going to put the front where I want it, which is probably going to be about 260 mil, and then leave the back as it is overnight and see if it settles and go from there. And if that's okay, that's good. That just needs to me to take the rear hub off again. I had to do the driver's side rear hub. The studs got whacking great big studs in it, and they've just been bashed into the hub, but they need to be welded in, because that one on the right had come loose and the other one on the left has come loose, and you don't need that happening when you want to change a wheel. But I can grease the hubs up at the same time. So progress. So this is the left hand rear hub on the Metro. You see how rusty it is. That ain't been off there anytime soon. Mind you, look, it's got some sporty brake shoes on it. Some extra lines in it. What's happened is, I don't know if you can see that. So the stud is ready to turn in the hub. I had this on the other side. So all you need is for that to turn when you're trying to undo the wheel nut. Oh God, imagine what you got to do. So I'm going to pop the hub off, clean it up, weld the studs in from the back, re-grease the bearings, put it all back together, clean the brake shoes up and the inside of the drum up, and that will be good to go. Well, this is the Metro at its pumped up height at the moment. So we've gone up 60 mil on this corner, which is an awful lot, but I'm going to see what that is in the morning. This one here, it's gone up by 15 mil. However, the pressure that was in there, you can't necessarily gauge how accurate the gauge on the small pump is, but it's about 475 psi. And when I got the other side on this one to the same 475 psi, I ended up with exactly the same height of 255. So I think that's high enough for the front. I know it's got a good amount of fluid in there. Don't know how firm it's going to be. Certainly the back is too high, but it's also got close on 475 in the back, which I don't think it needs. Probably 425 or even 400 would be enough for that, because it's got those Spax adjustables on the back of it. But that's why we'll need to go testing. But the main thing is I'm quite happy that the suspension has pumped up without any leaks or any issues. I'll get the tracking set on the front. I don't believe it's going to be far out. I'm not even sure what to set it at. Probably tow it in a fraction. If anyone's out there on internet land can make a suggestion, I'll be more than happy to listen to it. I don't know if the back is adjustable even on the car. I know that you can adjust them, but I don't know if this is. But pretty good progress, really. I think that I'm not going to be far off being ready to get a few laps in round Brands Hatch in a week or two.